Hello, welcome to this lecture. Now we will discuss event tree analysis. So, the contents of today's presentation: introduction, key terms, steps, quantification and example. You can go through the book Probabilistic Risk Assessment and Management by Engineers. It is Kumamoto and Henley. So, let us see the some historical issues. That the event tree name was first introduced during the WAS 14000 report produced in 1975 for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. This is basically the reactor safety study, and it is basically the WAS 14000, the nuclear power plant safety study, and WAS 14000 team needed an alternate method to fault tree analysis due to fault trees being too large. Obviously, you have seen already that for the simple gas oven in a kitchen, the fault tree is we have developed, and you have seen that the fault tree, because of YY nature, it can become a very big one if you consider large system, or even a medium large system also. What will happen? Fault tree, that decomposition up to the component level, it will become so cumbersome. So, then it could be also, as fault tree use reductive approach. So, it is very it will be very difficult to handle. So, people searched for that alternatives, that can there be some alternative which may do the similar thing, but uses some kind of approach like inductive approach. So, that event tree is that inductive approach, and it is basically a binary form of decision tree. When you start with a event and then ask what will happen next given a system configuration, then if the system configuration successful, something will happen. If it is failed, then something else will happen. By system configuration, I do mean that means given an event occurs, there may be one component or subsystem which will ultimately what I can say, response to that state. So, that response can be a successful response, can be a failed response. So, as a result, there is binary form, that fail or failure or success, and you go forward in that manner at every, if the first that means configuration or first layer fails, then what is the second item or second subsystem which will act depending on the first one fails. So, then there also failure and success will take place, and eventually you will have a tree like structure. Suppose in the kitchen there is leakage of gas, so then there must be detection system. So, detection system may be successful or failure, and again if detection system is successful, then what will happen? The immediately, that means the some actions will be taken, and that other actions will become successful or failure, and in this manner it will continue. So, finally, at the end you will find out lot of branches, and this branching at the end you will get lot of states. These are known as accident states with reference to event tree analysis and with reference to safety studies. If it is not safety studies, some other kind of study, there also you can use this branching, and end states will be called the scenarios. It is a forward search method. Start with events that can affect the system and track them forward to determine the possible consequences. You see the difference between fault tree and event tree. In fault tree, given a top event, we try to find out the causes and then we dig down using deductive approach, and we have gone up to the bottom level causes, that is the basic events. And event tree, we are not going to that. What we are doing, if something goes wrong in a system, what is next? That means the consequence of that going wrong. So, that is the difference. So, fault tree, top level mishap, and you dig down, and event tree, if that, suppose if that mishap happened, how system will behave and what will happen next. So, consequence side is usually taken care of by event tree, and causes side is usually taken care of by fault tree. Now, if someone not use the top level, maybe at the some bottom level failures, they will start from here, then also from here also similar branching is possible, means event tree can do the work of fault tree also. Okay. So, that is why it is alternative approach, it is developed. Let us see one example first. Fire, this is top event. Now, let us, we want to explore if fire will occur, what way the system will be behaving against the fire. There will be sprinkler system, then sprinkler system may be successful, may be failed. If sprinkler system is successful, that time what will happen, you can call the fire department also depending on the quantum of fire, and they will come and they become maybe successful, and then outcome is okay, means maybe minimal damage. If sprinkler system or fire department does not come, then there will be partial damage because of sprinkler system works. If sprinkler system fails, fire department successful, then what will happen, it may be partial damage, and if it fails and this also fails, system will be destroyed. So, what does it mean? Means there is an initiating event, fire. What is the need of considering fire as initiating event? There is no need, you can go back and also see some other things that may be the fire initiating event. For example, I can replace this by tank rupture. If tank rupture takes place, how the system will behave? That will be, the system behavior will be branched using binary class, success failure, you will get the end outcomes. Someone may say, I will not start with tank rupture as the top event, maybe some rupture over pressure. When over pressure is there, then this tank rupture will be the tank will behave against over pressure. So, here will be tank will be coming, and then after tank, if tank rupture will be there or not, failure means rupture, not means there is no failure. If rupture, then again it will continue. So, like this. So, essentially what happening here, you are basically using some inductive approach. In the case of leakage, what is there? You see, leak occurs. So, if there is leakage, there must be detection. This is the first level behavior. So, is there automatic detection? Suppose yes or no. Yes means success, no means failure. If automatic detection fails, is there possibility of manual detection? That can be no or yes, it fails. If manual detection fails, then no situation awareness is also not there, then action will not be taken. There will be no situation awareness, action will not be taken, then a lot of harm will be there. Suppose leak occur, manual detection, automatic detection successful, then manual detection here is not required. So, automatic detection, then situation awareness, you are aware of the situation, what will happen? If yes, then what will happen? Fine, but You are aware of the situation that leakage can cause harm, but whether action taken? If yes, there is no harm. So, that means what happened, there will be different end state from no harm to harm, and this is what is basically branched here. So, start with a particular event which is known as initiating event, which is leak, and then what happened, in order to, because the system wants the equilibrium. So, what system will do? System will behave if leakage is a disturbance, it is a deviation. So, system wants to fight against it. So, if positively fight, then it will be lead to no harm case, if failed, it will go to harm state. So, that means the system level different measures like this, automatic detection, awareness, actions, they may fail, they may be successful, depending on which one is successful at what time and the severity of the means the end accident states will be like this. So, this initiating event and the accident scenario is the last one, the outcome, in between whatever events occur, they are basically known as pivotal events. So, initiating events, and these are PV means pivotal events. So, initiating events start the situation or that will lead to final accident states, and pivotal event fought against this initiating event, and it may be successful, may be failure, and depending on the that success or failure and their combination, different end scenarios will be generated, and the event tree is used to find out this path up to end state. So, some terminologies: one is initiating event, failure or undesired event that initiate the start of an accident sequence. What are pivotal events? Intermediary events between the IE and the final mishap, that is the final outcome. These are failure or success of events of the protection configuration established to prevent the initiating event from resulting into mishap. You can very easily relate this to my hazard triangle, where what I have said, there will be some initiating event, and after that there will be lot of mechanisms, hazard element will be there will be starting point, lot of initiating mechanisms, in between mechanisms, these are all pivotal events. So, that will take place, and finally, the chain will be, or the all the failures, all the holes will be lined up, final mishap will take place. So, event tree is a technique that gives you those paths. Okay. And accident scenario is another one, series of events that ultimately result in an accident. So, actually this is accident scenario is the basically the end state. So, it is not series of events this sense, it is end states. What happen? Whether it will be safe, it will be unsafe, or it will be partially damaged, something like this. Those end states are accident scenarios. Okay. Now, let us see this. This example will explain in. So, you know all those things. I will not explain it further. What is it? So, now let us see. Initiating event is leakage of gas. What are the PVs? Manual detection, situation awareness, and actions taken. This is what is the system given. There is no automatic detection. What are the accident scenarios? There can be fire, there can be small release, there can be safe release. So, how do you find that these are the accident scenarios? We have used event tree, and depending on, and we know if the pivotal events occur, that means the manual detection fails, situation awareness fails, action taken fails, and as you have the hazard knowledge, design knowledge, and lessons learned already. So, you will be able to find out under which path fire will occur, under which path safe release, under which path small release will be there. This is a simple example, but the concept and philosophy holds for even complex example. You see, leakage of gas, manual detection success, manual detection fails. If manual detection fails, these things will not happen. So, as a result, it is a fire situation. Leakage, obviously there will be fire source, so ignition source. So, then leakage of gas, manual detection successful, but the cook there, he does not know what is happening, he is not aware. So, failure lead to fire. Then if this is success, action may be taken, may not be taken. If action successful, safe, there is no fire. If action is failed, then small released of gas will be there. Means some actions are taken, fire is mitigated, but release of gas is already there, or maybe some other scenario. You may say, okay, this will lead to fire also. Your job is here to understand, given an initiating event, how the protection configuration of the system work. Means protection configuration is not only a single layer or single barrier, it will be multiple barrier, maybe in sequence one after another. And then first barrier, if first barrier fails, this is barrier 1, first barrier fail, what will happen? You must have the system knowledge, that knowledge. If first barrier is successful, then the second barrier may fail. If second barrier is successful, third barrier may fail. Maybe all that branching will take place. So, a lot of branching will be there. So, now here what I mean, leakage of gas, then failure, I said directly fire. But even if manual detection failure case, there can be another branching possible if your system configuration is such that there are certain responses which lead to another kind of branching. Okay. So, you start with first branching, second branching, it will be multiple branches, but usually under failure case the branching is not done, because it is obvious that if the first level fails, maybe the second level and onwards they may not be successful. Okay. But please remember, this is the concept only. Whether you end this, here you do not do branching or you go for branching, again you work, brainstorm with the team and find out, but this is what is the procedure. Now, you have seen that okay, I have this many accident scenarios. So, for the time being, let us consider this is correct. So, there will be there will be some small release. Safety means almost negligible release, there is nothing will happen. Small release. So, what happened? That people will be out, and then that place will be slowly that gas will be evaporated or gas will be dispersed, and otherwise there will be fire. So, 3 things, 1, 2, 3. With this example, I want to show you the quantification. Okay. What is the quantification here? You see, there is one initiating event, then pivotal event 1, pivotal event 2, pivotal event 3, then accident scenarios like this. Now, if this event occurred, then this one start. Now, if the success and failure of these depend on this, then that is conditional. But irrespective of what happened, when it ultimately start working, then what happened? Then they will be independent. Its success and failures does not depend on the amount of gas leaked. If small gas manual detection is not successful, only for large amount of gas leaked it is successful, then it is depend on the amount of gas here, then that is basically a conditional event. So, but other way, given this situation, ultimately this will work, this will be able to make it or find it out, and then it is independent. For example, manual detection, that means leakage is there, then the situation awareness, that means what action to be taken, or what, not what action to be taken only, what will happen, that is the situation awareness. If that is dependent only on manual detection, then that is conditional. Otherwise, what happened? We know that if there is gas leakage, obviously it leads to fire, and that awareness is there, we have to take action. Then irrespective of the previous issues or previous barriers, success or failure, it will ultimately work independently, then they are independent events. So, that means there will be, accordingly there will be conditional probability and independent probability. So, I will discuss this conditional and independent probability first, then we will come back to this example again. So, what is conditional probability? Conditional probability of the occurrence of event E2 given that event E1 already occurred is this. What is this? P E given E2 given E1, what does it mean? Probability that event E2 will occur given that event E1 has already occurred, then this is probability of E1 and E2 both occur, that is joint probability, divided by probability of event E1. So, this is the formula we use to define conditional probability. What is this? This is conditional, this is marginal probability, independent of E2 and all those things, and this is the joint probability, that means both E1 and E2 will occur. So, conditional probability is equal to joint probability divided by the marginal probability, and with reference to what? The conditions given. Or you can write this in this form, that means the joint probability is conditional probability times the marginal probability. Okay. So, what is conditional probability? Conditional probability, that probability of occurring some event given that other event has already occurred. For example, you are going out, rain has started, you can use the rain or not use the, you can use an umbrella or not use. It depends on the amount of rain. If it is small drizzling, then you may not use. So, that means use of umbrella depends on the rain. Okay. Similar many example you can create. You create example with reference to your system, with reference to safety studies. Now, it is basically two events. Now, there may be series of events. So, what will happen to this equation? When there are n events, event E1 to En, and then what will happen? We want to know the joint probability that all the event will occur, then you require to know the conditional probability. How? Probability of E1 intersection E2 intersection E3 like intersection En, this can be written by probability of En given that other events as joint events that occur into probability of En minus 1, this into probability of En minus 1 given En minus 2 intersection En minus 3 intersection like this up to E1. And then En minus 2 in this manner, when reducing n, finally E3 given E2 intersection E1, then E2 given E1, E1, and this is the formula for finding out the joint probability of events, and you know the conditional probability. Or the other way, if you know the joint probability, then the conditional probability can be computed, but this branching is done. This is basically from 2 event to n event, that is what is conditional joint probability and conditional probability relation. Now, what will happen when the events are independent? If events are independent, then I can write that P E2 given E1 is nothing but P E2, because whether E1 occur or does not occur, it does not matter. E2 will does not matter mean it does not contribute to E2 event to occur. So, probability will be like this, and that is what this one we have written like this: probability of E n conditional all the other joint that E n minus 1 to 1 that join this joint probability, that is immaterial. So, we will write P E n, P E n minus 1, P E 3, P E 2, P E 1. So, when you develop the event tree, you must know that whether that pivotal events, they are independent or conditional, and accordingly find out the probability and then find out the probability of the accident scenarios. Let us see this one. Suppose event leakage of gas is E, success and failure. Suppose failure is E1 here, success will be E1 bar. Why E1 bar? Because E1 bar equal to 1 minus E1, because this is the binary case, either it will be successful or it will be failure. So, event E1 bar means 1 minus E1. So, in that way manual detection failure here, then here E1 bar given E, here also E1 given E. Why we are giving E? We are saying that leakage is there. Now, in that case what will happen? The second case, leakage manual detection E1 bar E, here E2 given E1 bar E, and like this. So, you are considering this and this and this, and accordingly what happened, this side the condition given condition is increasing, means leakage occurred, manual detection is successful, situation awareness is successful in this case, and then action take and this one E2 situation awareness successful, E1 bar manual detection successful, and E leakage occurs. So, that is what is the conditional event. Okay. Now, if we see that ultimately they are independent, particularly the pivotal events, leakage must occur, then only this will be activated. But the activation is not dependent on the amount of leakage. Then it is similarly situation awareness should not be the probability should not be dependent on this. So, if this case occur, then what will happen? All those things will be written as U, E1 bar, E2 bar, E3 bar, E3, E2, E1 like this, because they are independent. So, the conditional, the given part will not be written. Now, actually what happened, if you design system like this, when the protection configuration they work independently, that is a better system, because that is the independent system, and you must try to do this. Independent that system or independent design is the best design, dependent one is the coupling one, coupling design is problematic one. So, suppose for the time being we assume this independent, then what is the probability of safe situation? What is the probability of small release? What is the probability of low impact fire? What is the probability of high impact fire? In earlier case you have seen that I have given both cases fire, but considering the situation like here situation awareness is successful, so it will be low impact fire, not maybe high impact fire. So, that demarcation we have made, and you have to do like this. So, then what happened, you see safe probability of leakage occur, then E1 bar, E2 bar, E3 bar. You see what is E1 bar? E1 manual detection successful, situation awareness successful, action taken successful. Probability of this probability of PE, here is the probability, that one is PE1 bar, this is PE1. So that means this into this is high impact fire, this PE into this into PE2 bar into PE3 bar, this multiplied by this multiplied by this multiplied by this will be the safe situation. So like this. Okay. So in this manner, if you compute what you are getting now, right? So safety part, safe situation, this is the probability, small release, this is the probability, but fire case there are two situations, low and high impact, both we are combining in fire. Otherwise, if you write low impact fire, high impact fire, two probabilities separately, but in fire case 1 and 2, because there are two branches where end result is fire. So that means the probability of fire is this, probability small release is this, probability of safe situation is this. Now I have given you the value. Leakage of gas 1 per year, success 90%, failure 10%, like this. So multiply this into this into this into this, that means 80.19% time it will be a safe situation. And then small release is what? 1 multiplied by this multiplied by this multiplied by this is 0.81. Then low impact power is 1 multiplied by 0.90, 0.1 means this one is 1 multiplied by 0.90 multiplied by 0.10. So this is basically 0.09, 0.09, which is we say 9%, 1.01, so this is 10%, and this one is 81%, 0.81%, because this multiplied by this multiplied by this, and this one is the maximum safe situation, it should be. Okay. So now you just see the calculation, if there is any that computational mistake, correct it accordingly. So now what happened? Once you have the end scenarios, here safe situation, high impact fire, low impact fire, and this is basically small release. Then these are the accident scenarios, and this side is likelihood. This is accident scenarios. Okay. So what will happen then? Then the probability of safe is this. This plot is known as, this is a plot of likelihood vis-a-vis accident scenarios. This is known as risk profile. So event tree gives you risk profile. Okay. So let us see now what happened. We have now you know the event tree. You have already seen the fault tree. I will give another example where both event tree and fault tree is combined. Suppose our situation is scaffolding fall from ladder, and we want to develop a fault tree and event tree and risk. So let us see that what we are doing here. I hope that you all will appreciate this. Fall from ladder. What are the reason? This is OR gate. Imbalance of human, inadequate ladder strength, instability of ladder, any one lead to fall from ladder. Then when imbalance of human, then this wrong posture, excess load carrying, climbing with excess jerk, this may be the reason with OR gate. Similarly, inadequate ladder strength, improper ladder selection, strength is not good, and maybe strength reduced due to wear and tear. Instability of the ladder, here it is AND gate. Loss of frictional coefficient, less contact area will lead to this, and in this manner ultimately you are getting. So, let us now think that we know the probability of this, then this will be circle, this will be circle, this will be circle, this will be circle, 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 and here this will be circle, this is another circle, and this is another circle. So, what happened? We have written in the box because we do not know the probability. Maybe it may require that why unclean floor, further breaking down is possible. But if that is not possible, then and also you know the probability of unclean floor, probability of wrong posture, then they will become basic events. And you have seen in fault tree that basic event, and this is ladle is top event here. This is our fault tree. Now, we will use event tree to see that when fall what will happen if fall from ladder happen. Fall from ladder happen, then from which height is important, if it is high or low, contact surface where fall, hard or soft, then affected body parts, head, body, limb, head, body, limb. So, what happened? You just see you are getting different situation. Another one will be this, another is this. So, how many end state? There are different end states are there. Here head injury, body injury, limb injury, head, body, limb, head, body, limb, head, body, limb. Three different situation end status from injury point of view. So, impact will be high, low, medium, something like this. Now, if you know, you want to compute the probability of fall from ladder, then what you do? You will know, if you know the probability here, you will know that this one, use Mokas algorithm, get this probability. So, that means fall from ladder is initiating event for event tree. So, and you know height and low and fall from ladder, from which height it will fall, and that sense here also probability will calculate. But okay, all the time probability may not be a important one, maybe only the relative frequency will work, or you may not be interested to go for probability, finding probability and calculation of the that probability of that end state, but it is qualitatively it can be used, and that is also very important, because that will give you the accident path, and every path you will see which barrier fails, and accordingly you take the action. Okay. So, what will happen then if you combine the two, this, then here is the fault tree. So, this fault tree, which fault tree? This one, this fault tree, this one. So, this one, and here we have used event tree, So, different paths you have seen already. Now, question is whether you will go for both fault tree and event tree or not. It is better go for both fault tree and event tree instead of only one fault tree or event tree. The reason is, if I say that high impact is my end state, then all those things here everything, all the states, it will come under fault tree. So, you will start from here, then gates will be appearing. Again, if you think that the oil spillage is the starting point, then if oil spillage, what will happen next, then you will get another kind of event tree. Okay. But it is better you find out a middle path, like maybe fall from ladder is the event which immediately comes into notice. Then for that you just go for develop the fault tree to find out the why that event will occur, and if that event occur, what will happen next, then use through event tree. Then fault tree and event tree combine, this will give you the total status what will happen. Okay. If you want to prevent fall from ladder, then definitely this fault tree will help you. you find out, you have all the paths, you develop card set, and you prevent all the card sets to occur by engineering and administrative control. If you want that okay, this accident effect to be minimized or consequence to be minimized, then you look into this event tree and all the paths, and which of the pivotal events are occurring and with what probability, and which path, all the paths leading to the accident situations, bad scenarios to be arrested, and prevention or risk barriers can be developed accordingly. I hope that you got sufficient material related to fault tree, related to event tree, and with examples, and you will be able to develop fault tree and event tree for your system where you are working, or for the fresh students, you follow the book by Kumamoto and Henley, and or any other book of your department where the safety related examples are there, and I am sure you will be having a very good time. Definitely you will enjoy the entire exercise. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.